recording. Let's put that there or something.
Ooh, it looks like chocolate milk.
It does look like chocolate milk. It's weird because I've never seen it outside of the can, so I always assumed it was more like that color.
I always assumed it was clear because it's like if it's when it's in the can, there's not really any point of having it be colorful.
Well, yeah, but this is like milk and stuff, so it's
Oh,
gonna be
fair
a
enough.
color. Because milk is colorful. Ooh, milk in a can. Do do do.
Milk in a can. I also have milk in a can.
You also do have a
What?
form of a milk adjacent drink. We both have milk adjacent drinks
We
today.
do both have milk adjacent drinks today.
I guess we're just starting.
Yeah. Okay.
Wait, should we clap on 3? 1, 2, 3.
Boom.
You clapped very quietly. Doesn't matter.
I can do it louder.
No, we already got the clap. It's fine. It's
Okay.
fine. It's fine. Okay. Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Mapping the Twilight Zone. It has a title as of now.
It does have a title.
So this is episode number 2 of this show.
And also, episode number 2 of season number 1 of The Twilight Zone is what we're talking about. I don't know what its name was. Do you remember what it was called?
I think it's called One for the Angels.
One for the Angels. That's a very good title.
Yeah.
If that's what it is. If that's not what it is, that's what it should be.
I believe that is what it is. It's One for the Angels or a Pitch for the Angels. I'm pretty sure it's One for the Angels. First thing I want to say about this episode is when we were watching it and Death was there in his home. Go and watch the episode, by the way.
Yeah,
'Cause
do that first.
otherwise
then
you
come
won't-
back here.
You won't have context. I'm sure it's on some streaming service you have.
Mhm.
Amazon. It might even be free on YouTube. It's an old show, so it's free somewhere, surely. Anyway, when we were watching it and Death shows up in his house, I just kept looking over at Charles.
Oh, your skeleton you have over there.
Yeah. My skeleton I just have casually hanging out in my house.
Do you want to grab him and show the camera?
Sure, yeah. For those of you who are audio listeners, I'm going to say words. So this little bit isn't pointless for the audio listeners.
This is Charles.
Maybe I should narrate. Elijah sneakily puts Charles in front of the camera and slowly moves him closer and closer to the screen. Anyway, he was just hanging out on my little swinging chair over there.
It is very much
a
swinging chair.
No, probably not. But that probably got you. Unfortunately, I'm probably going to delete all of that. Unless we have audio problems like we did last time and I just end up using that audio. Anyway, so I thought that was kind of funny how he's just sitting there in the chair.
Yep. He's sitting over there again now, but not as nicely.
Not as nicely. No, now he's kind of. We actually, me and my brother, we broke his back a while back. So now
I'm
he's
sorry, Charles.
Now he's all kind of hunched over. But it was for a noble cause. It was to shove him into a box. That box. Labeled box.
Do we need to show the camera that too?
No.
Okay.
That's okay.
Maybe
That's
next
okay.
time.
Anyway, so yeah. Let's give this episode 1 to 5 stars. Deaths, angels. 1 to
a rating of 1 to 5 angels.
Yeah.
How many angels do you think the guy had at his pitch? 1 to 5.
Yeah, something like that. I really like this one.
I
It's
do also. It was definitely a lot better than the other one.
yes. Yeah, this
Um,
is I think the other one is one of my least favorites that I've seen. This is one of my favorites. I really, really like this one.
yeah,
Um, so I would give it 4.5. Like, and like, I guess before, like having seen several episodes and sort of knowing, like, uh, I guess the quality that the show
yeah,
actually reaches, I
yeah,
think this is one of the best episodes I've seen. Now I haven't seen every episode, so that's why
mhm,
I don't just say 5. Is because I'm like I want room just in case there's one that's a lot better than
yeah.
this one.
And I mean, if you're doing a rate of 1 to 5,
Mm-hmm.
then really you can have multiple fives. I would say that my guess is that if I had watched every episode at this
Mm-hmm.
point,
Yeah.
this one would be a 5,
Mm-hmm.
and the last one, the first one would be a 1.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. The
Uh,
first one. I would feel bad giving it a 1. Um, because I think I do appreciate it somewhat,
yeah,
but it's one of those things where I would give it A for effort more than anything else.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I would definitely give it like 1.5, probably.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, no, but this episode really good. Um, this is I think my favorite interpretation of like the embodiment of death.
Mhm.
Um, so much so that he ended up heavily inspiring my death character from my animation mythology. So,
Yeah, I also thought it was really interesting because Death, he seemed like almost human, but also like he pretty much said he wasn't. He did say he
mm-hmm,
wasn't. He was like, I don't
right.
understand you humans, which distinctly implies that he's not human.
Uh huh.
And yet, the ability to be tricked, it kind of leans
Right.
more into sort of like, so at the very end, when the, what's his name? Something book, something?
Uh, Lewis,
Lewis
Lewis
book,
B.
Bookman?
Book,
Is it just Bookman?
Lewis B. Bookman. I
Lewis
think.
B. Bookman?
I think he
Anyways,
had the initial of B.
when he was doing his pitch at the end, I was like, "Oh, is this like a pitch for the Angels with Angels being like not necessarily what we think of as like the wearing white, flying in the sky with
Mm-hmm.
harps,
Right.
but as just non a not natural being, a
Yeah.
supernatural
See.
being of some sort."
Okay. So that's actually something I wanted to say. Is like that's um like there's not much I would change about this episode because I really like it. Um, but I would have called him the Angel of Death and had him say at some point, "I'm an angel." Right. So then when he's making a pitch for him, he is literally making a pitch for the angels. And then there's that nice sort of double entendre that makes it ironic and funny. Um,
Yeah.
I think that would have been really cool. Uh, they didn't do that. It's fine. It's fine. It's good. It's good anyway. But
I
yeah. So I sort of had the same thought.
yeah. I think that to some extent that would be good, and to
Mm-hmm.
some extent also leaving it a little bit more vague as like a something you figure out is also cool. I
Mm,
I can see either way being good. The way it is now, the way you just suggested, they're both good. I don't
right.
see one as being particularly better than the other.
Yeah.
I'd have to see the way you just suggested to decide, but
Sure.
regardless, very clever.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I I would assume that they were sort of doing that. Like they were sort of saying that this guy was get uh Lewis Bookman was giving a pitch to the Angels with
Right.
that guy being there. even if they don't specifically say that. I think that was
Yeah,
sort of in the mind of the writer.
maybe. I mean, that's definitely like how I've always thought of it. But I could also see it just being um, like the metaphor of like, oh, this is a really good pitch, so it's
Yeah.
for the angels.
And
Um,
it also could be less that it necessarily was a good pitch, which based on how the movie or the episode played out, it clearly was a good pitch because the death was like, give me everything. But also the what Bookman he had said what he said he wanted was to give a pitch that would like really mean something, be important, and what he was doing was giving a pitch to save this little
right.
girl, which was very meaningful to him and important.
It's true.
So no matter which way you
Yeah,
what's the saying?
no matter
No
what
matter how you
way,
slice it.
no matter what way you cut the pizza, it's still in pieces at the end.
Yeah.
That's the Cademan version. You can use that now. Um, Pizza's good.
Pizza's very good.
Yeah. So, I don't know. What do you think? There's like anything that you would have changed? Anything that was like, oh, that's kind of that doesn't quite work for me, or anything like that? Because I have a couple things.
I mean, it's a really small nitpick,
Mm-hmm.
but at the scene where Bookman was going down the stairs out of his apartment,
Mm-hmm.
it seemed very apparent to me that they were using a shorter staircase
Mm.
and taking multiple shots of it to make it look like a longer staircase.
Oh yeah.
It very much looked like that to me, and I don't know if that's just me,
Sure.
but
Well, and you'll find there's a lot of stuff like that because of the time when this came out.
yeah.
There's there's one that's uh that is really fun where it's kind of like the people in the background are supposed to be frozen. This is a much later on episode. But uh like as the camera moves past them, like they don't fully cut off like one arm before the person starts moving again. So there's a lot of like little things that you'll find where it's like, oh, with modern special effects that would have never happened.
Yeah.
But um yeah, um I think that for me the big part that was like um it wasn't necessarily bad, but like uh again by modern standards it's like, it kind of pulled me out. But that's after the girl was hit by a car, she's just lying on the road like taking a nap, because
Yeah.
that's what you look like after you're hit by a car.
Yeah.
um and it's like, to me it's like that's fine because I see this as like very much being like almost like a play.
Mhm.
um and you can sort of like uh use your imagination for
Yeah.
a play. Not everything is going to look exactly how it's supposed to. uh
I mean, it felt a little weird to me that she seemed like very, very like straight, like body wise. Like there
mhm.
weren't any arms flayed
Right,
about. If
exactly.
there were arms flayed about, even, but they're like obviously, I
Yeah.
feel like in that time period they wouldn't have any fake blood or anything like that, or
Well,
any arm that
I
looks like it's
imagine
broken wrong.
they would have had more things they could have used as fake blood because it's black and white. So like, just get
Yeah,
any
that's true.
fake liquid.
But I feel like in that time period they wouldn't really do that,
Right,
and at least
probably.
in
Yeah.
that doesn't feel like a Twilight Zone thing,
Hmm.
but it just seemed too fake.
Yeah. Yeah. It also like kind of the writing as well, where it's like she's hit by the car and then like she becomes sick, right? Like they don't really say what's killing her. Um,
Yeah,
so it's like I mean it makes sense that it would be like a brain injury. right? Like that could easily happen, but it's all just very vague. It makes it kind of seem
Yeah.
like she's hit by a car that makes her, want to lay down and take a nap because she's not feeling well.
Yeah.
And then whatever sickness the car gave her is going to kill her.
Yeah.
But,
And I
it's very nitpicky. But also it's kind of fun to talk about. So,
yeah. And I think there's at least a little bit of a difficulty with just the way the story is, because the story is that she can't like die from
right.
from the injury. Death
Right.
has to take her.
Yeah, yeah.
And so that
She can't be dead right there.
yeah.
Um, yeah. So, but like, I guess I would have loved a line where it's like, oh, she had a brain injury. She, trauma to her head, something like that. Um, but at the same time, it's a fun little story.
Mhm.
Um, and this, I think that's like what I would sum up the entire episode is I'm like, oh, this is a fun little story. Um, so yeah, the other thing I thought when watching it is at the end when he succeeds at distracting Death from going and getting her, and he's like, it's too late. And then the guy's like, thank God. I would have loved it if Death had a line where he was like, well, you'll be able to in a few minutes. Something like that. Like that just sort of came to my mind. I'm like, oh man, it's so sad they didn't have that in there. But
Yeah.
yeah. Um aside from that, I think uh the part of this I was talking about last time, I was like, most of these episodes, like, they give me ideas for stories and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Big thing, Death, right?
Yeah.
Like, this version of Death that's like more of a businessman, um, is like, I just thought was so cool since I saw it, the idea that like he's there and you can only see him if you're about to die. He sort of just like pops up from place to place. He's very straight faced. Um, you know, that version of the character is just so cool. And like I said, kind of ended up being the inspiration for like my version of Death in stories that I've written and made animations for and stuff like that. So,
I think the idea
mm-hmm.
of, because we have all these phrases like cheating death, playing
Mm-hmm.
with death.
Right.
Um, I don't know if bargaining with death really is a phrase, but to see those things, like, because normally when it's cheating death, it's like you come really close to dying and then you don't die.
Right.
But this takes that same phrase
Mm-hmm.
and puts it in a different context where it's like
Yeah.
actually cheating, like pretty much like if yeah,
Yeah.
cheating in a different way, death,
Yeah.
cheating him
And I feel like it's like that
with
kind of
words.
like legend we have where it's like the example of this that comes to mind is like the devil went down to Georgia, where it's like it's sort of like a common story that we sort of have and tell a lot, where it's like there's supernatural being comes to like interfere with the human, but then the human's clever enough to still beat supernatural being. um Whereas like you know you think you're actually gonna be able to like trick the devil or like something like that, probably not. He's the devil and you're just a human, and yeah, depending on your beliefs about the devil. But like I feel like that sort of points to what you were saying, where he's like he seems like he was almost human in a way because he was able to be tricked.
Yeah.
um
I mean, he obviously looked human.
right. Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if if the same people made it in the modern day, if they would have made him look different. Because they have that with a lot of um a lot of shows where it's like it's on the budget for special effects, so they're like, oh, and here's our version of angels, right? But they don't have wings because we can't afford special effects to give them wings or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really know. I don't think that it would work
Yeah.
very well for them to make him. I'm just envisioning like a face approximately like Darth Maul's,
Mm, yeah.
that sort of evil
Well, I think
sort of thing. But death doesn't have to be evil. Death is neutral, right?
right. Yeah.
Or
And
generally
and
considered neutral.
this death in particular is very much seen as like just sort of a neutral being. Um and also he seems like a pretty nice guy.
Yeah,
But
it almost seemed like there were multiple deaths based on the way he was talking. Like
oh yeah.
we can't make exceptions
Right.
unless one of these three things. And it seemed like a
Yeah.
very structured, very like there's this entire organization.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Um and like I've always sort of thought of that as being like the organization is like, God, and like he sort of tells death what to do, and it's like a whole thing. Um but yeah, easily there could have been like an organization of like, you know, death's reapers. What?
Mhm.
But I feel like probably there was several scenes where it played like the scary music and then it just shows him standing there. I feel like, um, and then like us spoiled people from the year 2025.
Whoa! If you're watching this in the future, we're we're from a long time ago.
We're old now. We.
Well, it depends on how far you are in the future. I also almost said that
Mhm.
if you're watching this far enough in the future, then the TV show will be not copyrighted anymore or
Oh, it would be
something.
in the public domain.
Yeah, public
Yeah,
domain. So far enough in the future, you can watch all that for free, and you can always
for
listen to this
sure.
podcast for free.
Yeah,
So there's no
always.
reason not to, right?
On Yes, you can watch it on YouTube, the Eccentric Academy channel, and you can listen to it out nowhere.
I don't know her yet either.
Okay. I was actually gonna ask you if the first episode was up yet, because I have it up on YouTube.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay, I guess I better get on that then.
It's actually also it's gotten um a lot more attention than I thought it would. Like just based on views. Cause like I didn't expect that like right off the bat. But my YouTube channel has been picking up steam. So
Nice.
um still like astronomically small
Grand scheme of
in
things.
the grand scheme of things, but there is more of regular presence than there was in the past. So it's cool. But yeah, well, I was gonna say something about this show. You got me off track.
Oops. Sorry.
um yeah. I don't remember what I was gonna say now.
Okay. Um, let's see. There was a part in the show
Mm-hmm.
which was after the girl got hit by the car.
Mm-hmm. And she decided to take a nap on the road.
Yeah, she decided to take a nap on the road. Um, this is a nitpick from me, which is
Mm-hmm.
that I wish that I mean it wouldn't work with the story well, but I wish
Mm-hmm.
that the bookman couldn't
Mm-hmm.
see death anymore
Mm.
because death wasn't coming for him anymore.
Right.
It completely would have ruined the story,
Yeah.
but it just
It seems consistent with the rules
yeah.
that he wouldn't have. Um, yeah. And in my head, I excused that as like, well, it's because he's still on his way out. He's just gonna leave as soon as he gives the pitch. So that's sort of like you know, my way that I found to excuse it.
Yeah.
Um,
And I guess you
but
could also excuse it as like the death is still coming for Bookman
mm-hmm,
by proxy of coming for the girl because that's the substitute.
yeah,
I know. There's different, again, no matter how you cut the pizza, it's still in
it's still
slices.
in slices. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, overall, great episode. I
Mhm.
like this one a lot. There's like nothing that anything that I'm like, oh, I would have done it differently. It's like just kind of um personal taste. And oh, I remember what I was gonna
What
say
was it?
before we got on to talking about us being old men when you are watching this. You right there on the other side of the screen. Not you that's watching this like as soon as it's posted, but you that's watching it in like 30 years.
Yeah.
Um anyway, what I was going to say is I feel like those scenes where like it just shows oh get off track again.
Okay, those
Okay.
scenes where they're
Yeah.
just showing him sitting.
Yeah, where they're just showing him and it's like bum bum bum. I feel like in more modern television they would have had like lightning flash and then like for a second you see him as a skeleton, something like
Mm,
that.
yeah.
Um
I mean, there
but
was the thing with like the sky getting dark for a moment, which
yeah.
I think might have been sort of their attempt at that.
I don't even remember that,
Really?
honestly. Yeah.
Hmm.
So but
I very distinctly remembered it because it was like, whoa, that was like, why'd that happen? I guess it's because death was there. Oh, I guess that's why. But it just was very like everything else has been this very consistent lighting, and then
hmm
suddenly just this darkness for like 2 seconds, and then
right.
it gets lighter again, and then it switches over to death.
hmm
This seemed a little bit weird, but
Yeah. Yeah, and probably you're right. It was them sort of attempting lightning, um, which in sort of hindsight, like lightning's not that hard to do, um, but just probably the way television was made at
mhm,
the time, which is like I feel like that's also the same thing with like the girl getting hit, um, or like even like like replacing the actor with a skeleton for like 1 second all would have been super easy to just do a little bit better. But I feel like at the time the sort of mindset was very much just thinking of movies as recorded plays.
mhm,
um so which is also something I was thinking about in this episode because I'm like on the scenes on the street, I'm like, I'm fairly certain that that is a set. Like to me, it didn't really seem like it was actually on the street. As opposed to like last episode where when he was outside, it looked like he was
yeah,
actually outside.
mhm.
Um, but
But he wasn't actually outside. If you think about
that
it,
that is true.
you better go
That is
watch the
true.
other one. Actually, no, that one wasn't very good. Just
Um,
listen to our podcast episode on it. That'll give
right.
you everything you need.
Yeah, you should watch it. It will help your 2025 short attention span problem.
Yeah, or later.
It definitely helped ours. The entire time I was like, something happened, something happened, something happened. um yeah, but so anyway, I was thinking about I wonder how they do make the sets for a show like that back then, because like it's probably mostly recycled stuff from like other shows and stuff
Mhm.
like that. I think I even mentioned that when we were watching.
I'm not sure you did, but it could even be like stuff picked up from the dump, basically,
Mm-hmm.
because they don't need it to be functional. They just need it to look
Right.
functional.
Yeah.
Or you could make a, you could throw some pieces of wood together and like you could make a door without actually
Mm-hmm.
making a door. You just stick an extra piece of wood on there and stick something that looks like a handle, even
Right.
if there's not
For
a
sure.
drawer.
And also, like, at the time, what looks good, what passes for looking good, it's not as high of a bar as it is today, because we're spoiled in the modern day.
Hmm.
But, um, but yeah, it's just something that sort of crossed my mind because I'm like, in a lot of shows, um, they'll have like, sets that are built for like locations that they'll use a lot. Or like Star Trek, that if you're subscribed to the Eccentric Academy YouTube channel, you'll know that I really like, and you can learn all about Star Trek and listen to me review episodes of currently
Ooh,
Star Trek Voyager.
we're doing so much plugging.
We are, that's true. Um but nonetheless, in Star Trek, they have like consistent sets
Yeah.
that like they have a cave set that they'll like rearrange a little bit episode to episode so it looks like they're in a different cave.
Hmm.
Um that sort of thing. So a lot of stuff just gets recycled. And I'm curious, it's sort of something you don't necessarily think about a lot unless you're really into like movie making and how that sort of
Hmm.
thing works. Um, but uh, where was I going? But yeah, it's interesting to think about where like different sets and different props and that sort of thing come from. That's all I was getting at.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I can't believe we didn't do this before we start. But
Candles.
for the people who can see, for the
Yeah.
people who can't see, too bad. You'll never know.
Yeah.
You'll never know
I
what it is.
definitely didn't say what it was a few seconds ago.
Well, but they'll know what we did with them.
Oh,
They could have thought I just pulled out a lighter and lit two candles
yeah. They could have thought you turned on the candles.
with a remote that's behind the candles.
Yeah.
That would be a weird thing to think because as we all know, candles do not use remotes. They use lighters. Um but so I don't know why anyone would think that.
All right. Um, themes from the episode.
Yeah, themes from the episode. I think this is an episode about sort of not trying to, how can I say that? Being okay with death, I think, is sort of the main theme of this episode, right? Where it's like he's so uh ready to try and trick death that uh the girl ends up getting sickness from being hit by a car and decide to take a nap on the road. No, but the point is like she almost died because of his what he did to try and trick death or whatever. And that is is sort of a problem. You gotta be okay with the fact that you could die anytime because any of us could.
Hmm.
Um, and that's that. Um, I feel like this is one of the lighter on like sort of philosophy, but that's the takeaway I would.
Yeah, what I sort of got was
Mm-hmm.
like doing the right thing even when it can and will cost your life.
Yeah, that's
Because
good.
at first he's like, I just want to live. I don't
Right.
want to die yet. But then when he sees that there's a problem that he really cares about,
Mm-hmm.
that this girl's going to die, and the only way he knows how to fix it will cost him his life, he's
Mm-hmm.
like, you know what? I'm going to do it anyway.
Right. And I feel like there's this might be like sort of reaching into like what's written between the lines. Um or what I'm imagining is written between the lines. But I feel like there's something to be said about like maybe he didn't want to die because he didn't he didn't feel like he had done anything important or valuable yet. And then as like the narration tells us at the end of the episode, he was um he was loved by the kids, so he was an important person. And I think that's a really good sort of moral, is like, especially like in the modern day, everyone has to be like, so successful and like the best at what they do and blah blah
Mhm.
blah blah blah.
And having the
and
most subscribers on YouTube.
and having the most subscribers on YouTube, which what doesn't have the most subscribers on YouTube? The Eccentric Academy channel. So you can go over there and hit that subscribe.
I was actually trying to like make a jab at you.
Uh-huh.
Not anyway,
And
a playful jab.
I was also trying to make a playful jab at me. Um while promoting myself. I don't know. It was a weird joke. It was good though. I have no regrets. Um But at the end of the day, what's actually important is like, your personal relationships, right? If you're um if you're like a big movie star or director or president of the United States of America, but then like you treat everyone around you and your family like garbage, then like, who's really successful? Is it you or the guy who is a salesman on the streets of New York that sells toys to children? Um, but he's friendly and uh, has people that love him and he loves. And at the end of the day, it's not it's not those big picture things that you know the world wants you to think is so
Mhm.
important, but it's actually the smaller things. And this is also something that's found in the Bible, with the
Mhm.
first shall be last and the last shall be first.
Yeah. And it also sort of, that idea brings up a major philosophy I have about life, which is that the vast majority of all things bad are isolating, and the vast majority of all things isolating are bad.
Hmm.
So being a movie star
Mm-hmm.
makes you famous, but that fame is also isolating because it detracts from your ability to have just normal conversations with people. If like a famous movie star goes out on the streets, then you're gonna have a bunch of fans being like, "Oh, you're so cool. Can I get an autograph from you?" And it's not gonna be personal anymore. And so I wouldn't want to be a movie star
Yeah.
because it just makes you impersonal. The president, if the president walked out on the street,
He died.
he probably would die.
Especially currently, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Politics. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think this is an entirely different topic, but I think there is um there there is a balance of like being alone.
Yeah, but being
that's good.
alone and being isolated are very different things.
Sure, well,
Well,
depending. I feel like
they can be very
if you
different.
look in the thesaurus, right, you would probably find them together. But yeah, I think like even uh like I get what I was saying earlier, you could take away that like, oh, it doesn't matter how successful you are as long as you're the life of the party, right? Something like that. No, that's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is more of like, it doesn't matter as long as you have real intimate relationships, right?
Mhm.
You have actual friendships, not just, high
Not
school sort of cool kid status.
yeah.
Um, and that's more of what I'm saying. So it's like, life of the party or not doesn't matter. Funny or not, uh, like liked by everyone or not. Like that, I don't think that has a lot to do with it, but it's more about like, well, how do you treat the people that are around you? Um, and that's important because I feel like a lot of us, myself included, spend so much time growing up trying to just like, oh, I have to, um, like once I achieve this thing, then I'll be liked, or once I achieve this thing, then I'll be rich, or whatever.
Mhm.
And more as I get older, I realize that's all just vanity. It's all pointless nothingness. It's all um uh what the song Hurt calls uh Empire of Dirt. Have you heard that song?
I have not heard that song.
Look up Johnny Cash. Not right now, but when you get home or whatever. Johnny Cash Hurt. It is a very good song. Um,
You do that too.
you do that too.
We're plugging Johnny Cash in this.
Yeah, we're playing my YouTube channel and Johnny Cash music that came out years ago. Also, we're plugging the Twilight Zone. So,
Yeah,
lots of old stuff and my YouTube channel.
which may be old at the
Yeah,
time that these
by
people
the
are
time
watching.
they listen to this, we're old.
It's all circling back around.
Everything is old. I'm proud the time you're watching this, not you who's watching this when it comes out, but you who's watching it in,
30.
30 years. Yeah. When you're watching this, I could be getting my mouth measured for dentures. And
Whoa.
he could be being put into the old folks' home.
What? Wait, no.
Okay, you could be sitting on a nice rocking chair reading uh
Reading
reading
a book about time travel?
reading a book about time travel to your many thousands of grandchildren. And then you're gonna look up and you're gonna see Charles sitting there. You're gonna be like, who put that skeleton there? And the kids are gonna be like, we don't see any skeleton there. And then the
Ooh.
skeleton's gonna be like, Elijah Freeman, you have one day. Anyway, with that being said, that's all I have to say. Is that all you have to say? Is there anything else we want to talk about that I'm not thinking about?
Um, I mean, going back to what we were last talking about that was
Yeah.
actually on topic
Mm-hmm.
with sort of the thing that's important being um intimate relationships with
Mm-hmm.
people. I
Yeah.
kind of feel bad for Death because I kind of get the feeling that he doesn't have such things.
You think so?
And
He kind of
there's
seems like it.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's a little bit of a
But
contrast between
maybe
Bookman and
I
Death.
think I think he goes home to his angel of a wife and two death children. and
Who are gonna
you,
grow up and take his job once he touches himself like he touched the flower.
oh, maybe. But
He'll go like boop.
but that's the vibe that I get from him is that um he he's at work, he does his job, but then like he goes home and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna watch movies with the family," or like I'm gonna eat dinner with the family,
Eat some pizza.
eat some pizza. It doesn't matter how we slice it. It's up in pieces either way.
As long as you don't slice it like this.
Well, you could just one. There would only be two pieces is the problem, and that's one piece for you and one piece for your wife, and you wouldn't get any toppings, or your wife wouldn't get any toppings, and then what would the kids eat?
I don't know. Which is why you can't slice it like that.
Yeah.
There's some ways that you just can't slice a pizza.
That's true.
That's my saying.
That's true. That's
no
a
matter how
good
you
saying.
no matter how you cut a pizza, it's still in slices, but there's some ways you can't slice a pizza.
Yeah. Woo!
Yeah.
Should that be the end? Last time we high-fived at the end, I think.
Well, if we're ending with that, we gotta redo it with a better high five, you know?
That's for sure. Okay, so thank you for watching / listening. For those audio viewers, we are about to high five. It's gonna be the coolest high five. It's gonna be a high five for the angels. Are you ready? Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful.
The camera couldn't see it.
Well, that's okay because if the camera saw it, then their heads would explode from how awesome it was.
Yeah.